Just look up for a second. It's very important here that you be honest, okay? Tom said, well, we can just walk out the door. But you're the one who wanted to talk with us, okay? So let's go back a little bit, okay? What have you lied about so far?
Nothing.
Okay. So when you go over to the house, do you go inside right away or do you go to the fire?
Go to the fire.
And what does he tell you?
Just that he was going to help. I was going to help him pick up the yard.
Did he tell you anything about Teresa at that time?
No.
All right. We'll continue.
Then after we got cleaned up the yard a little bit, and we unloaded the stuff near the fire, and after a while he told me that he wanted to show me something in the house.
Did he say what he wanted to show you?
No.
Okay. So what happens then?
Then he brings me in the house and
What
shows
door do
me
you go in?
the one with the cemented stairs.
That would be the side door by the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I asked that question is as much detail as you can provide, do so, okay? Go ahead, continue.
Then we go into the house and he shows me that she's laying on the bed.
So when you go into the house, I'm just going to stop for a second. You go in the house, you go right into the bedroom?
But you turn left.
Okay. And then you went into the bedroom? Okay.
Yeah.
And she was, no, go ahead and finish what you were saying, I'm sorry.
And then she was laying on the bed and he told me to have sex with her.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. You said she's laying on the bed. Is she saying anything?
To not listen to Stephen.
Okay. So there's nothing covering her mouth? And she's saying to you, don't listen to Stephen?
Yeah.
What else does she say? It's okay. Just get it off your chest. What else does she say, Brendan?
We know that part hurts. And it hurts to say it. But these are the types of detail we need to know, Brendan, okay?
What does she say?
Don't listen to Stephen and try to go get help or something.
Okay. Is she screaming or anything like that? Okay. Is she wearing any clothes when she's on the bed?
No.
How about socks?
No.
So she's totally naked?
Mm-hmm.
What is she tied up to?
The bed things.
Okay. How is she tied up? Explain that to me. What did he use to tie her up?
Her hands were tied up with rope and her feet were cut.
Describe the rope for us.
Well, it was just yellowish.
How thick? Do you recall? But you think it was a yellow rope.
Mm-hmm.
Describe the cuffs for us.
her and they were leg cuffs.
You're saying they were leg irons? They were designed for her legs.
Whose were those?
Stevens, I guess.
Just silver, anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Describe, again, I know this is hard, we asked you the last time, describe her body for us. Including her private areas.
Start with her hair. What color hair did she have?
Brown.
How long?
Well, down to her neck.
Any scars, marks, tattoos?
No.
That you recall?
No.
Did she have acne, pimples, stuff like that?
No.
Braces?
No.
Any teeth that were crooked or missing or anything like that?
No.
Was she bleeding at all?
No.
Her pubic area, did she have pubic hair?
No.
You don't think she had pubic hair?
No.
In the first interview you said she did, which is right, or don't you remember?
If you don't remember something, Brendan, tell us you don't remember. You need to be honest with us here.
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you recall seeing her breasts?
No.
You don't recall seeing them. Did you touch them?
No.
Did you have sex with her?
Yeah.
But you didn't touch her breasts?
No.
And we asked just before, what does sex mean to you?
Brendan, what does sex mean to you?
When a guy and girl
Do you know what the body parts are called?
yeah,
Okay. Well, explain that to us. What do you do when you have sex?
the guy sticks his penis into the girl's vagina.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
And were you on top of her?
Yeah.
So she was underneath you. Where were your hands when you were doing this?
On the sides of her.
Okay.
What did she say to you while you're having sex with her?
To stop what I was doing.
Do you know what it means to ejaculate?
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No.
How long did you have sex with her?
About 2 minutes.
Why did you stop?
The room was quiet, not tense in the way people imagine, but ordinary. A table, chairs, a recorder, voices that sounded patient and calm. The person sitting there was not an adult. He was a teenager. He was not there because he had asked to be. He was there because adults had told him he needed to answer questions.
Where was she? Come on, we know this already. Be honest.
On the back of the Jeep.
She was in the back of the Jeep. Was she alive or dead at that time?
Dead.
Are you sure?
Okay. What did you see in the back? I know this is hard, but what did you see in the back of the Jeep?
That she was laying there with like a small blanket over her.
Do you remember where her head was?
Not really.
Did she have clothes on?
Yeah,
She was clothed.
yeah.
Was she tied up already? Or did you help him do that?
She was tied up already.
Where? Tell me how she was tied up.
Like the rope was right here around her body.
Are you sure?
Did Steve have any blood on him at that time?
On his finger.
What about on his body, on his clothes?
Not that I know of.
Where did you see blood?
Like right here.
Where else in the garage?
On the floor.
A lot?
Like drips.
Where was it dripping from?
At the start, the questions seemed simple. What did you do that day? Where were you? Who were you with? These are questions that sound neutral, but they carry weight when asked by authority, especially when asked repeatedly, especially when the person answering does not fully understand why the questions matter. Brendan Dassey did not enter the interview with a story to tell. He entered with uncertainty. He hesitated. He asked if he was doing okay. He looked for reassurance in the room. This detail matters because it shows the emotional position he occupied from the beginning. He was not asserting, he was responding. The investigators did not shout. They did not threaten. They spoke in measured tones. They offered encouragement. They told him he was doing the right thing by talking. They told him honesty was important. These statements sound supportive, but they also establish direction. They imply that there is a correct path forward and that deviation from it would be disappointing. As the interview progressed, the questions changed in structure. Instead of open-ended prompts, they became more specific. Instead of asking what happened, the investigators suggested what might have happened. They framed possibilities. They offered details and asked for confirmation. This technique is subtle. It does not feel like instruction. It feels like help. Brendan's responses reflected this dynamic. When asked broad questions, he struggled. When given options, he chose one. When investigators corrected him, he adjusted. When they praised him, he continued. This pattern repeated itself again and again. At several points, Brendan asked if what he was saying was right. He asked if he was doing okay. These are not questions about memory. They are questions about approval. According to experts in juvenile psychology, this distinction is critical. It suggests a desire to satisfy authority rather than a desire to recount personal experience. As the hours passed, the narrative became more detailed, but those details did not emerge spontaneously. They followed prompts. When investigators suggested a sequence, Brendan adopted it. When they asked about actions, he mirrored the language they used. When something did not align, he was corrected and the story shifted. This is where the interview becomes difficult to watch, not because of aggression, but because of imbalance. One side controls the structure, the pace, and the interpretation. The other side tries to keep up. At one point, investigators told Brendan that they already knew what happened, that this was his opportunity to explain it. This statement carries psychological weight. It implies inevitability. It suggests that denial is no longer an option, even if the person believes it to be true. Brendan's answers became more compliant. He began to agree with statements that had not originated with him. When asked to fill in gaps, he guessed. When corrected, he accepted the correction. This is not unusual behavior for a juvenile under stress. It is documented, it is predictable, and it is dangerous. What makes this case especially instructive is that the confession appeared detailed on paper. When written down, it looked like a narrative, but when examined closely, it became clear that many of the details were introduced by the investigators first. Brendan did not lead the story, he followed it. Later analysis highlighted these moments. Experts pointed out where information was supplied, where questions were leading, where assumptions were embedded in phrasing. They noted how Brendan's language mirrored the investigator's language. This is a key indicator of suggestion rather than recall. After the confession, the case moved forward quickly. The statements were treated as decisive. Public opinion hardened. The story felt resolved. This is often the effect of a confession. It brings emotional closure, even when factual uncertainty remains. But the evidence raised questions. Physical evidence did not align cleanly with the confession. Timelines were inconsistent. Some details Brendan described were factually incorrect. Others appeared to be guesses shaped by questioning. These discrepancies mattered, but they struggled to compete with the power of a recorded admission. In court, the confession became central. The manner in which it was obtained was debated. Experts testified. Transcripts were examined. The question was not whether Brendan said the words. He did. The question was why he said them and what those words truly represented. This is where the case moves beyond one individual and into a broader discussion about interrogation practices. Juveniles are not simply smaller adults. Their cognitive development, impulse control, and understanding of consequence differ significantly. When questioned without safeguards, they are especially vulnerable to suggestion. Brendan did not have a lawyer present during key interviews. He did not have a parent advocating for him in the room. He relied on the adults questioning him to guide the process. That reliance would shape the outcome. Years later, this case would be studied extensively, not only by legal professionals, but by psychologists, educators, and policymakers. It would be cited in discussions about false confessions, recording standards, and the ethics of interviewing minors. Some argue that Brendan's statements were truthful. Others argue they were the result of coercion and confusion. What cannot be disputed is that the interview itself played a decisive role in creating the narrative that followed. This is why the interview matters. When an interrogation supplies details, it risks contaminating memory. When it rewards agreement, it risks encouraging compliance. When it suggests inevitability, it risks eliminating meaningful choice. The Brendan Dassey case forces uncomfortable questions. Not about intent, but about method. Not about guilt, but about responsibility. It asks whether the goal of an interview is to confirm belief or to discover truth. Over time, legal challenges continued. Appeals were filed, rulings were made and reversed. Public debate intensified. The case became symbolic of larger systemic issues. But through all of this, the interview remained the focal point, because everything that followed depended on what happened in that room. This is not a story about villains and heroes. It is a story about imbalance, about how authority, patience, and suggestion can combine to shape outcomes without ever appearing forceful. It is also a story about consequences that extend far beyond the interview itself. Brendan lost years of his life to incarceration. His family endured public scrutiny. The case became a permanent part of cultural conversation. Whether one believes the confession was accurate or not, the process by which it was obtained deserves scrutiny. Because the justice system does not only judge actions, it judges methods. The interview did not end with a dramatic breakdown. It ended with agreement, with quiet compliance, with words that seemed to close the case. But closure is not the same as truth. This case remains relevant because it illustrates how easily certainty can be constructed, how confidence can replace caution, how a narrative can feel complete while resting on unstable ground. The lesson here is not that interviews are wrong. It is that interviews are powerful, and with power comes responsibility, especially when the person answering questions is still a child. The interrogation of Brendan Dassey is remembered not because of how it sounded in the moment, but because of what it produced. A confession that shaped a life, a case that continues to challenge assumptions. A reminder that how we ask questions can matter as much as the answers we receive. And that is why this interview continues to be examined. Not for what it proved, but for what it revealed about the process itself.